I found this video online and I don't know where it was filmed or when it was filmed, but I'm going to change that. By using what we see in the footage, such as the logos, language spoken by the fighters, the roads, the buildings, and the direction of sunlight, I'm not only going to find out exactly where it was filmed, but I'm also going to find out when this building was destroyed. And I'm going to show you each step of the way, so that you can do this with any other video or photo that you find on the internet. Hi everyone, I'm Ben and welcome back to my channel on open source investigative techniques. If you want to follow along on this tutorial and you want to check out the video, you can find a link to it in the description below. Otherwise, let's get started. Alrighty, here we go. The building that I mentioned that we're going to find is this one. It's at 1 minute 13. We're able to see this building right here. So what I'm doing right now is scrubbing through the video, just thinking about what kind of features we'd be looking for, knowing that inevitably we're going to be looking at Google Earth at some point. One of the things I keep seeing from different angles as well are these two things. Not really too sure what they are. We can see them a little bit closer here. I see this one here. It's got little things hanging off it. I actually think they might be lights on a billboard, which would make a lot of sense if we go through over here. And be mindful that we've got these lights on the sides of this road up here as well. Going both sides. So they're shining down off the road and they're shining onto this road. And because this goes up, it almost makes me think that this might be a road going over something. We can also see this kind of turn off here. And it almost makes me think that we're at like a crossover section or an intersection of a highway where you drive underneath here and you've got the road that goes over it and you've got billboards either side of it. And that would also explain some of these lights going off the road. But also the height of the billboards in comparison to the road here as well. So a lot of little features that we can just start to pick up. Okay, so I think we've spent enough time really going through all of the content. Some of the other things that I'd probably listen out for is what people are actually saying. By listening out to some of the audio, not only can we hear gunshots and things like that, but at second 44, we can hear what appears to be the person actually filming. I'll play that now. To me, it sounds Arabic, and for me, that sounds like at least we're able to pin that down to some idea of a region within the world that is likely a warm temperature. It's a very sunny day. It seems to be quite a kind of sandy, dusty, but also dry area. We can see from the roads. The roads are paved. This is also in a conflict area. So we're kind of thinking of this as we go through. What we can also see on the video, and many of you would have seen this already, is two sections of what appears to be text on the video. So we've got this one up on the top left. We can actually see that quite clearly at the start. And then we have this one down here. This one down here also has a logo, but it has more text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot that. And this is just a useful little technique that we have. I'm going to go to Google Translate, and Google Translate allows me to select text, images, documents, and even websites. I'm actually going to use the image one, and I'm going to drop my screenshot that I just made into there. I'm going to choose Arabic as the translation. And it's actually translated that for me as Libyan Arab Armed Forces. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy the text and do a quick search on that. So here we are, Libyan Arabic Armed Forces. We've also got the Wikipedia entry there. So I could just go back to Wikipedia and just double check with the screenshot as to that being the text. That looks very accurate as to what we've just copied out of there, and it's always good to double check. So it appears that this video, at least this text down here, is Libyan Armed Forces. What we can also do is do a little screenshot of this unique little logo in the gold and black with the what appears to be like a a little white soldier figure. What we can do is go to Google and do an image reverse search. So I'm going to drop that little screenshot that I took there and check that out. And already we can see some of the logo, the similar logos. We've got Libya's channel. We've got a Facebook page. To me, that just confirms that this is on the right track in terms of being in Libya. So this is a really good starting point. I'm going to head to Libya on my Google Earth. Now, it might sound like we've done a really good job already by going to Libya, but this is a pretty big country and there's a lot of space to look for. How can we narrow this down a little bit further? I don't think this is going to be a small village or a small town if we've got an overpass. So if we're looking at our map of Libya, we can go back to our Google and look for biggest cities in Libya. List of cities in Libya. So we've got Tripoli, we've got Benghazi, Misrata, Zawiya, Baida. Those are the top 7 cities. Tripoli and Benghazi seem to be over 1 million or 1.5 million. Tripoli being much bigger than Benghazi. So I might start with Tripoli. I say that because what we're looking at here is a highway or an overpass over another road. We're thinking about these being billboards. This is probably a well built up city, so I don't think it's going to be in a smaller town or village. I think it's going to be something, one of these at the very least, if not Tripoli or Benghazi. So I'm going to start with the city of Tripoli. It's very big, so it looks like we're going to take some time looking around through here. I'm going to use Google Earth, and down on the panel here, I'm going to turn on my roads. And this just shows me main roads. These are the roads I'm going to start with, just looking through and seeing if I can find a road that might be a cross point between, I think, 2 very large roads. So we've got this one that the vehicles are on. That's the one that this vehicle at the end drove down. And then I think we've got one in between these 2 billboards that is going underneath this one. So what we're looking for is a cross section. To paint that a little bit better, I've actually got Canva. You can use this for free. I'm going to use this one and I'm going to make a little kind of cross section. I'm going to make something that could appear to be a little road, and then I'm going to make a kind of a cross section one. So I might even change this one to be a straight line. And this might be the highway. So I'll even do a kind of double line for this highway. And this is going to be my working point from now on. So the building that we were looking for, which is this one down here, I'm going to turn this into a building. It's on the left side of the road that goes over what we think could be a highway. The building we mentioned is on the left side of the road. So I'm going to use an element. I'm actually going to turn this into a box. This is what we can see, and our building's probably somewhere down here. This is our building of interest that we're looking for. It seems to be quite close to the road, even a little bit back. We can also see a little one in front of it. Looks like it's got some green there, and there's one in the background as well. And this is our hole in the back of this building. The hole that I'm referring to is this kind of bit, this chunk missing out of the back of that building there. Looks like we've also got one back there as well. It might be maybe a building in the background. We've got what appears to be a long, so we can see where this truck drives along, that there's a long, maybe metal tin roof of a factory or something. I'll pop in the billboards that we have. So this is on the left side of the road, so opposite to the one that the building's on. There also seems to be a turnoff here. I guess maybe a kind of on-ramp to the highway. That seems to be on the other side of the billboard. So there's kind of the graphic that we're after. I know it's not a piece of art, but it's what we've got so far. So this is what we could be looking for. Now, the second thing I want to do is I might have a look at the shadows. So we can see that we're kind of facing north of the city. We might be able to use these shadows to give us an indication as to direction that we should orientate our map for when we're looking for this road, right? Especially help us with this orientation of the graphic. So I'm going to use SunCalc. I've done a number of tutorials on SunCalc before, but this is just a very easy way to get an understanding as to which way the shadows point. What I'm going to maybe guess is that these shadows, they're quite long. and it appears that the sunlight is coming from this direction and the shadows pointing down this way. These shadows are extremely long, and the shadow from the post as well. So it seems like we might be looking at perhaps a shadow of this length towards the afternoon or in the morning. And the shadows are going upwards, northwest, upwards, northeast. If I'm thinking about this when it comes to the direction of the map, let's think about the direction of the shadows. So the direction of the shadows are going down, actually towards this building. So when I go back to my Canva, I'm going to put my shadow over here. It seems to be pushing away from the road, but on a bit more of an angle. So I might even go like this, and this can be my shadow line. Now, when we go back to our sun calc, the sun calc shadow line was these directions. So I almost need to orientate my map a bit. So if I'm looking at the satellite imagery, the orientation that I should have in comparison to sun calc should be either this way or this way. You can see the shadows pointing in correlation with what my sun calc would have been pointing in. So we'll make two versions of this. I'm going to screenshot this one for 10 a.m. and then in the afternoon at about 3, I'm going to screenshot this one. And I'm going to make myself a couple of images on Canva on my whiteboard. And you can see now the idea of what I'm working on here. This is the afternoon, what it would look like. This is the morning configuration that it would look like. So it's fairly easy to kind of think about the way that I want to orientate my map, right? I'm looking for a underpass highway that goes either this way or this way, and an overpass that goes this way or this way. So when I go back to my satellite image, what I'm looking for is a cross section that is kind of tilted either this way or this way. We can fly along here and just have a look at some of these. So we've got this one over here. This is, pretty cool already. I could zoom in on here, but I'm not really seeing, I've got these billboards here. So yeah, we can see that maybe this could be it. I don't think so, because immediately what I saw was a mosque and quite a few large buildings. And don't forget, one of the things that we also had was quite a fair few trees on the left side. I don't really see those trees properly there. And we've got a mosque there, which I didn't see any of that in the video whatsoever. We've also got this kind of thing going over the road. Didn't see that. I didn't see a lot of these. So I'm going to rule this one out. But it does kind of fit the shape that we're looking for, right? Overpass, underpass. What else we got? So we've got a few more of those along here. This one, we've got some trees, but the overpass is the highway. I didn't notice a wide overpass like that. It was actually a smaller road going over the highway. So let's remember that when we look at some of the other kind of cross points. This looks like quite a wide road going over this one, but I'm not seeing many buildings on either side of that. This one, I don't see the collection of trees. And that road is also too wide. Look at the road that we had this vehicle driving down. Very, very different. There is a kind of maybe a lane split there, but we can see that road in the distance down here. It just doesn't look like that kind of main double lane. It's almost like a highway and a highway, this one. So maybe I might work out a little bit further to have a quick look at this one. But this is, again, that kind of double highway. What I'm kind of looking for is maybe a thinner road and a highway. And I indicated that on here as well, right? So this kind of thin road, and then we've got the highway. Okay, so let's maybe take ourselves out of the city area a little bit. What have we got around here? So we've got a site down here. No, we don't have any buildings around here. Got no green, so pretty much rule that one out. So you can see the kind of things that I'm thinking of is just reminding myself of what we've got here. Have a look for a couple of the pieces. If they fit, then I'll investigate it a little bit further. Have a look at this one. No. Have a look at this one. I kind of like this one. But the problem is we've got this kind of double highway. I didn't notice that at the start. This could be a good option. So we've got trees. Do we have the trees? So we've got a building. We've actually got a long tin roof as well. that we had. So remember this one that we drew up here? We've got that tin roof there. The orientation of the shadows. So let's remember where those shadows were pointing. So we'll go back to SunCalc directly. I might actually go over this direction in SunCalc. So we're looking at this one. Seems to be down near the airport. Okay, so let's have a look at the shadows here. I just want to go back to these, where these people were talking. Shadows, pretty direct there on the road going down. So it's possible it could have been that, especially if we're looking at from this point, which it would have been, I guess. So that still could be possible. Must have been late in the afternoon though. Or it could have been this way. That's also doable. Yeah, so we got either side of this is quite doable. All right, let's have a deeper look. Okay, I'm going to turn off my roads because that's kind of annoying with the yellow, and we'll get into this one. So we have a double road. Let's start looking for some features that might just be clear matches. So first things first, I want to have a look at these things. So they've got the two of them on this kind of left side in the video. And we have two of them here, so that's a nice one. This one looks like it's kind of opening up this way, which is similar to this one. They have the little, see these little black things? They're probably the lights shining up on the board. We've got that there, we've got that there. We've got these kind of like lights over the road here. Some of them are a little bit damaged. And they seem to be here. Hey, we've even got some destruction along that road here, which is interesting because that wasn't looking too healthy, and this bent one could be one of these. What I want to look for is maybe these trees that we thought we had. There was a fair bit of burning, so it could be that in some of these satellite images over here, they might not be there anymore, but they might have been there in the past, like this. Okay, so that's useful. That also starts to give us a bit of a window of time, right? If we go through the trees, fairly consistent there, then they seem to have gone eventually, right? One of the things I noticed was on this bit right here, I wonder, I do remember a bit of a sand pile somewhere, just on the right there, which is actually just near this kind of entrance piece. And as the truck drives down, there's a sand pile. So this is already like really looking good to me. Okay, let's go a little bit further then. So we need a light post and some trees. I see a light post there, I see a light post there and some trees. Looking great. And I'm now going to start to think about this. So we've got this building here. That was the building in question. Let's go back to a lighter scene, this one. We had a factory roof that we saw over here. Yeah, I mean, we've got two of them over here, but that could be it, just given the angle that it's kind of down here. And we've got a small building. So remember our Canva that we made, our whiteboard, we had a small building and then the building with the hole, right? So this, I'm going to start using my video for the purpose now. So we have a tree there, other building, a tree here. We can really start to get a lot more detailed, right? So if I'm looking down past my factory roof, I'm focused this way. What I want to find is a building like this with a little kind of shed thing on the left of it. We've got some shed kind of buildings, then we've got a building here. So let's look at this building. I'm going to scroll back in time and try and find a satellite image. What I'll do is I'll minimize this and we'll do a cross comparison each time I go back in time once we find an angle where we can see this side of the building, which is the camera angle side of the building. So here we are. I think we can see this side of the building fairly clearly. We've also got a little, I guess a water tower or a little kind of feature there. I don't know if we see that, but actually we do. There's if we enlarge in this a little bit, there seems to be something standing right there, but also a massive hole in the side of this and two separate squares, and a large gap. For me, that's pretty confirmed that we've got this. Now, let's have a look at the window of time and try and figure out, well, okay, we might actually be able to indicate when this video was filmed, given, or when this destruction happened at least. So we've got a hole below that as well. Can't really see that hole, but let's go back. Now, I'm going back in time. There's no hole in the side of this building in the satellite imagery from November 26, 2018, but there is a hole in this video. I'm going to go forward until I see that again. There's a hole here on May 2nd, 2019, that matches this. I might be able to find another satellite image that shows us more of the side of this building, and it seems like that building had more destruction over time. Okay, so it looks like we've confirmed the location of this building. We can see the destruction on this side of the satellite image there with a chunk taken out right there, which didn't happen before. It seems like this chunk first appeared at least on the side version of this one. So obviously maybe we could look for more satellite imagery or other videos from the region. But we've got this green post here, which sits there. We've got this building right here, which is likely this one. So this is the angular view that we're seeing. And we've got the side of this building. This matches up pretty well with what we can see. The damage first appeared on May 2, 2019. It was not present on imagery showing the side of the building on 11th of on November 26, 2018. So I'll go back to this one, and what I'd probably do for this in a report is do a summary shot. So maybe I'd take a screenshot of this view where we're able to line a couple of objects up. I'd probably do a flat image. I would insert a screenshot of this and just line these objects up. So we've got a sand dune, bang, this part here, this green structure here, which shows the shadow just there, and then the building itself along here. We can also see even that top object on top of the building emerging out of it. If I go back to my color shop, you can see a little rectangular thing on top of the building. We've also got that there. So the more you kind of look at this, the more some of the smaller features match up. So that's a wrap. We've now identified the exact location of that building. Again, it just shows that geolocation is not as easy as 1, 2, 3. It does take a little bit of time. However, there are a lot of videos and a lot of photos that, just given the attention to detail and time, are very easily verifiable in terms of using satellite imagery to identify perhaps where, when, and then also get a wider understanding of what happened in the region. And now that we have that location, we're able to understand perhaps what happened in the area around here. And now that we know that the fighting happened between 2018 and 2019, we're able to see the difference on satellite imagery then. Here's an image from 2019. If we go back even a little bit more to when there was actually traffic going through these roads in early 2019, looks all right. Go forward when there's less traffic and we can start to see the signs of destruction in the region. This is around the time when this area was starting to get destroyed, along with the side of this building in the imagery over here. We can also see that level of destruction happening in this region. So you can see all the vehicles on the roads. That very much stopped as time went through, and then the destruction really kicked into this area. What we can also see are these roads along here with many of the kind of dirt parts along the roads. We've got shipping containers along these roads, which might have been potentially fortified positions. If we go forward a little bit more, we can see more shipping containers being put down where there might have been defensive positions. And that just kind of gives us so much more context than what the video captured. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you have any questions on any of the processes I used, the techniques I used, if you have looked at this video and maybe found some other solutions or ways that you've made shortcuts or made it easier, please share them in the comments below, as it really is a learning process for all of us, still including me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next session.